Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a football bombshell that will make your jaws drop. The legendary Carlo Ancelotti, the seasoned don of football management, is about to embark on an epic adventure as the next head coach of none other than Brazil. Ancelotti has been weaving his magic with Real Madrid, successfully navigating a changing generation. The burning question remains, is he truly the perfect match for Brazil? Or are they about to commit a major oopsie daisy? Hold on to your football boots, my friends, because we have quite the plot twist in the world of football. Imagine this, one of the most decorated coaches in history, renowned for his triumphs, decides to take on the almighty task of coaching the Seleção. Sounds like a match made in heaven, right? Well, hold your horses, because there's a twist. Carlo Ancelotti, the man with more trophies than a treasure chest, is set to lead Brazil in 2024. Now that's a seismic announcement that has left both the national team and Real Madrid scratching their heads in confusion. It's like finding out your favourite pizza joint suddenly started serving sushi. Confusing, baffling, and a tad bit unsettling. Sure, Ancelotti's accolades speak volumes. He's won the Champions League 4 times, for crying out loud. He's conquered the top 5 leagues in Europe like a boss. But Brazil? Really? It feels like a soccer version of mixing oil and water. Something just doesn't quite sit right. You see, Tite's departure after Brazil's disappointing World Cup exit opened up the coaching seat. All eyes turned to Ancelotti. Even Ednaldo Rodrigues, the president of the Brazilian Football Confederation, publicly expressed his hopes of having the Italian maestro on board. And boy, did Ancelotti fan the flames of excitement. In April, he couldn't contain his glee, admitting that he was downright excited about managing Brazil. Well, aren't we all? But hold up, folks. Can you imagine the chaos this decision could cause? Real Madrid, his former club, must be scratching their heads, wondering if they'll be left hanging in limbo. It's like inviting a master chef to whip up a feast for another restaurant, while your kitchen is left in disarray. The drama, the uncertainty, it's like a telenovela unfolding on the soccer field. Rodrigues, the president of the Brazilian Football Confederation, announces the appointment of Fluminense coach Fernando Diniz as the interim guy, and right before the Copa America in June 2024, the big guns roll in, and none other than Carlo Ancelotti takes charge. Talk about a slapstick comedy of timing. Now, here's the scoop. Brazil has its eyes firmly set on the 2026 World Cup, and they've convinced themselves that Ancelotti is the chosen one, the man with a magical touch to break their curse against European teams in the knockout stages. The last time the mighty Seleção managed to defeat a European team in a World Cup knockout game was way back in 2002, when they triumphed over Germany in the final. Yikes, it's been a hot minute since they celebrated a victory against those European giants. Real Madrid is left stranded in a sea of uncertainty. Just imagine their poor players, feeling like a bunch of abandoned puppies, knowing that their coach is packing up at the end of the upcoming season. We all know how it goes, don't we? When players find out their manager is heading elsewhere, their motivation tends to vanish faster than a scoop of ice cream on a hot summer day. It's a classic case of, wait, who's steering this ship again? Real Madrid prides itself on being the biggest club in the world, with a record 14 European Cups and 35 La Liga titles to support that claim. So when their coach agrees to move elsewhere, even if it's to manage Brazil, it feels like a blow to the reputation of the club. Madrid has a reputation for being quick to fire managers, even letting go of Jupp Heynckes after winning the Champions League in 1998, and sacking Vicente del Bosque, despite his success in winning Europe's biggest prize twice and securing 2 La Liga titles. In the past, it has been the Madrid executives who have had the final say, not the managers. But now it seems that Ancelotti has the upper hand. He has essentially conveyed to the elite of European football that they are his second best choice, a part of his history rather than his future. Knowing that Ancelotti has only 1 year left at Madrid could negatively impact the team's chances of having a successful season. When a coach's future is uncertain, it often leads to a decrease in motivation and poorer results. A similar situation happened with Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. He initially announced his retirement at the beginning of the 2001/2 season, but later regretted the decision. During that season, United ended trophyless and lost the Premier League title to Arsenal. Ferguson acknowledged that some players had mentally checked out after learning about his departure. However, when he reversed his decision in January, He refocused on United and how to regain success. Learning from that experience, when Ferguson finally retired in 2013, he kept it a secret until there were only 2 games left in the season, and after United had already secured the Premier League title. In summary, having knowledge of a coach's impending departure can have a negative impact on team performance, as seen in the past with Manchester United. However, Brazil will benefit from Madrid's loss as they acquire one of the most tacticians in football, a coach who excels at handling challenging dressing rooms and intense pressure. The problem lies in the timing. Ancelotti will only begin working with the team in June, just weeks before the Copa America starts on June 20th. If Real Madrid reaches the Champions League final on June 1st, he will have even less time to familiarise himself with his new players. While he will stay in touch with interim coach Diniz over the next year and keep a close eye on the team from a distance, it cannot replace the experience of working hard with the players in training. Additionally, Ancelotti will have his hands full with the responsibilities at Madrid. Although the Copa America is not as significant to Brazil as the World Cup, it is still a prestigious tournament. Brazil won it in 2019 and reached the final in 2021. The upcoming edition, held in the United States, will attract extra attention. Entering such an important tournament with limited time to build rapport with the players puts Brazil's chances of winning at risk and may lead to a challenging start for Ancelotti. While waiting for Ancelotti to start his role, Brazil faces additional concerns beyond the Copa America. They are set to commence the demanding World Cup qualifying campaign in September, with 6 matches scheduled until November, including a highly anticipated clash against arch rivals Argentina. During this period, the team will be led by Diniz, who not only has the challenges of being an interim manager, but also carries another responsibility. Diniz will continue to manage Fluminense, one of Brazil's prominent clubs. In September, Fluminense will be focusing on a crucial stage of the Serie A Championship and may still be involved in the latter stages of the Copa Libertadores, akin to the Champions League in South America. Balancing these immense tasks simultaneously will undoubtedly be a daunting endeavour for Diniz. It is often said that Brazil has 200 million people who think they can coach the national team, with strong opinions from all corners of the country. So it's quite concerning that the Brazilian Football Confederation had to search outside of Brazil for a new manager, but can we really blame them? There is a scarcity of Brazilian coaches in the top 5 European leagues, and even among the most successful clubs in Brazil. In fact, 5 out of Flamengo's last 8 coaches have been non-Brazilians, and Palmeiras currently has a Portuguese coach in Abel Ferreira. Even Botafogo had the Portuguese coach, Luis Castro, until he was lured away by a Saudi Arabian team, Al Nassr. While it's understandable that Brazil has opted for Ancelotti instead of choosing from a mediocre pool of locally born coaches, it still feels unusual to have an Italian leading the most successful national team ever, known for their passionate fan base. Ancelotti will be the first foreign manager for Brazil since Filippo Nunes, an Argentine, who took charge of a friendly against Uruguay in 1965. The only other foreign managers were Uruguayan Raymond Platero, who had a tenure of less than a month in 1925, and Portuguese Eureka, whose time in charge lasted only 4 days in 1944. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva expressed criticism over Carlo Ancelotti's appointment as the new coach of the Brazil national football team. Lula suggested that Ancelotti should focus on resolving Italy's problems since they failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. Lula praised Diniz, stating that he possesses the necessary personality and creativity to lead the team. Lula remarked that it's easier to coach a European club with 11 international players than to handle a team like the Corinthians, which is currently facing relegation from the top league. He expressed curiosity about how well Ancelotti would fare with Corinthians. Lula expressed pessimism regarding the current generation of Brazilian players, suggesting that regardless of the coach, they will face difficulties in the World Cup qualifiers. He attributed the challenge to the team not possessing the same calibre of players as in previous eras. But what does a politician know of football, right? What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.